since this is a floral inspired video, let's grab a little flower and put it on my desk. There we go. Since all of the flowers are pretty much dead outside, I get to have a nice little flower here on my desk. Hello everyone and welcome back to Amity Bloom. My name is Nazi. I actually need to be doing some schoolwork and I need to be working on some new products that will be coming out the end of this month. But I want to play with some paper that I created and designed a few weeks ago and I hadn't had any time to play with them. This is the paper that I've made. I took all of your messages into consideration and the number one most requested printable that you guys wanted me to create was wallpaper and some more vintage receipt type papers. And it was a joy for me to make them as I love these papers. They are completely up my alley and so I want to play around with them. I don't have time to make a journal, but I do have time to play with some envelopes that I actually purchased from the thrift store. I think this envelope I actually got for free. Sometimes when I go to the thrift store, all I can find is like some books or some envelopes, and I think the people feel bad for me because they end up just giving me the envelopes for free. So yeah, these envelopes I think were actually completely free from the thrift store. And I want to play with them and I think I want to create some pockets out of them. They are pretty large in my opinion. Like if you take my little Artist in Bloom journal, it's bigger than my journal, so I obviously need to trim it down in some way. And I think I want to create 3 pockets out of one envelope. That kind of sounds crazy now that I'm saying it, but if my idea works out, I think it'll be really cool. So to create this project, what you're going to need is obviously some envelopes, either free or purchased. So some envelopes and of course some paper. I'm going to be using my printables. You can find these in my shop if you're interested, but definitely use papers that you have lying around. So this is the set of antique wallpaper that I created. I made some collage sheets and some full sheets. This is one of the full sheets that I collaged together, and I tried to make it look like antique wallpaper. Like if you see, antique wallpaper tends to have a little script sometimes up at the top. It has little words or numbers, and it numbers the wallpapers. It's like a manufacturer strip. And I wanted to create a faux manufacturer strip on some of these papers, so you'll notice some of them have those little strips or those little numbers in the bottom or on the top or on the middle, and I thought that was a really cute touch. And I actually kind of cut it too short with my paper trimmer, but that's fine. I can always print it again. So there's this one, this full sheet one. This is my mother's favorite because of the blue, and I just took some different wallpapers that I have and I collaged them together, and so any way that you fold it, you still get pieces of those wallpapers, and I think that's really pretty because you can use these to create journal covers. You can use these as journal cards or to embellish an envelope like what we're going to be doing today. This is a full sheet, the prettiest little pink, and it has some hints of blue in there. Really lovely, and then it has the little manufacturer strip down at the bottom. This one is my sister's favorite. She loves like teals and greens and pinks. A funny story is my sister actually wanted this wallpaper to be covered in her room, and when I told her that no, this wallpaper is used for decorating, for crafting, for papers, and when I explained to her that I don't use this wallpaper for walls, I use it for my journals, she looked at me like I was crazy. So there's a funny story around this one. So this is a set of antique wallpaper digitals that you will find in my shop. The paper pack comes in a pack of 4. And then I created some more French receipt papers. These are so versatile to use in any project, and if you'll notice, they go lovely with the wallpaper. And that's kind of how I created it, so that they go really well with any of the wallpaper sheets. So this is some French receipt, a full sheet. You can journal on the blank spaces or just use it as a background for collaging. Here are some little postage stamps that I actually also created, and you can put them on here and just make it look really fun. This one is probably my favorite because of the color. The color is a beautiful sage green, like that French green that I love. And then I collaged different pieces. And this is an antique typewriter receipt, which I really enjoy. So you get scripts, like really pretty penmanship, and then you also get typewriter. So for me, those little details matter, as you know, you can cut these to collage onto pieces, and you get a different feel for the papers when they have different types of fonts and typography on them. So I love this one. Here is another receipt one. This one I wanted it to be more like a journal paper, so I gave you more space for you to write. It's kind of like a vintage ledger receipt, and then on this side I gave you some script, a little header for you to write the date, and then some journaling space. So the idea with this one, you can fold it in half and put it in your journal, and you have space to journal, and the script can kind of be as inspiration for you, as I like to try to make my penmanship at least somewhat similar, if I can, to like this antique script. Half the time I end up just going crooked and it looks like cat scratch, but I try and it's nice as inspiration. So if I mess up on my writing, at least I can look at pretty writing. And then this is the last one, that beautiful French blue that you guys know I'm obsessed with. Another full receipt page. You can fold it in half or just cut individual pieces to use as tags, to use as collage papers. It's up to you really, and these were printed on cardstock, and then these were printed on thin copy paper, or just regular copy paper. So those are the new papers that are in the shop right now. The French receipt pack, and then also the collaged antique wallpaper. And I also decided to experiment, and so I ended up creating this printable here. It's so adorable, and I wanted to create them because I love postage stamps. They're the perfect size to cut and to use in your journal. And let me just take my little Artist in Bloom, for example. When you cut them out, they are the perfect size. You can make them smaller or bigger. You can make them into journaling cards or little tiny postage stamps. For me, this is the size that I like. I don't like postage stamps that are too small. And of course, you can collage them, so you can put this as like a background and then a real postage stamp on top. As I know, I also love collecting antique postage stamps, but sometimes I want to have some really pretty floral ones that I can play with. So I decided to create some postage stamp strips with different collage papers. I printed them out on just regular copy paper so that they're not too thick, and then I cut them out with my little crafty scissors. These really cute scissors that we actually used in like preschool to cut things out of, but I love using them as they give you a really nice border around your postage stamp. But you can also just cut it out into a little square and use it as like collage squares. I suggest printing these out on sticker paper so that you can cut and then just peel off and use them on your projects. And I think I should have done that, but I was just too excited to use them, and I just printed them on regular copy paper. So I want to use these for my project. I think it's perfect to use for decorating these envelopes. I love being able to personalize everything, even something as small as like a little postage stamp. For me, it's really special. So, to begin our project, now that we have our envelopes, we have our papers, we have our little postage stamps, I think it's time to start seeing how I'm going to turn this into 3 pockets. What I was thinking in my mind, let's start with the big one, as this one's less daunting to me, surprisingly. If it's larger, I feel like if I mess up, I still have more space to kind of fix it. So what I think I want to do is fold it in half. I used to do this in my December journal last year. I would cut envelopes in half and treat them as like a little text spot, and that's pretty much what I want to do. Yeah, I want to get different sizes this time. So let me cut this in the middle. So just by folding and cutting your envelope, you have something like this. And it looks a little wonky, believe me, it does. I'm going to take one of the sides and I'm going to fold it in half, repeating that same process. I think this actually worked out really well. So from one envelope, let's connect the puzzle again. Is this, yeah. Wait, is that right? I think, yeah, that's right. The little flower. Okay. This is the full envelope. You cut it in half first. Then you take one of the halves and you cut that in half, which causes you to have 3 different pockets. It makes sense now that you kind of see it come together and kind of come apart. In the beginning, when you see an envelope, you just think that you can create a pocket just inside of the envelope, but try to cut it in half and then cut it one more time. You get 3 pockets out of one, which I think is really cool and really awesome. So this one's going to be obviously a full pocket. This little piece, we're going to tuck it in and create a tuck spot so that you can put a full card in this little tuck spot. And then you also have some pocket space in the inside. So you have a double pocket here. Then with these little pieces, you have a little tuck spot here. Same thing, I'm gonna add some glue and you have a little tuck spot. And then you also have a pocket here on the inside since it is an envelope. With this one, since this is the flap that's glued down, you pretty much can just create a top loading pocket. You can enclose this side or close this side, and you can choose to have a top loading pocket or a side loading pocket. It's time to start decorating. And this is the part that I personally love because it's so relaxing to me to just go through my papers and choose the papers that I really like. I want to use some of my papers that I printed out on thin copy paper. So I'm going to start out with some of my French receipt papers and I'm going to decorate the larger pocket. So what I want to do is I want to give this, I want this to be my background, and then I want the little blue to be my little tuck spot. So I went ahead and I cut out one of my French receipt papers to match the overall surface area of my envelope, just like that. You want to pretty much cover it up, just so that it looks like this was never an envelope to begin with. We want to completely transform it into something that originally you wouldn't think it was. We're trying to make some paper magic here, and hopefully it ends up looking as I imagine. So I'm going to go ahead and take my receipt paper, glue it all on this side of my envelope, making sure I don't glue this side since we want to have a top loading pocket. So just glue the area that's the front portion of the envelope. Stop right there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it right on top as well, and then cut the excess. I'm just using regular glue, like a regular glue stick. Since this is just paper, I don't need to use like a super crazy glue. Add some glue on this side. Oops. Trying not to break our envelope in the process. And then I'm going to match up the edge of my paper to the edge of the envelope. Open this up and then just cut or trim off the excess. This is really fun for me because there's no like hard thinking involved when it comes to creating this. Like, it's really easy. You just pretty much glue and cut and you follow the template that your envelope has already created for you. So now what you want to do is you want to close your pocket up or your little tuck spot, and I like to use fabric glue for this, as when it comes to pockets I really like to make sure that they are nice and fully closed. I don't like to have pockets that open up a couple days later and then all your stuff falls out, which is really sad. That has actually happened to me once. It was in my traveler's notebook. I used some double-sided tape to create a pocket. I was out and about just, having the time of my life, and I look into my traveler's notebook and my ephemera fell out from that day. It was some really special ephemera and it completely just fell out of my traveler's notebook, and hopefully someone had the gracious heart to pick my ephemera up and perhaps use it in their projects, but if I'm being honest, they probably just stayed on the ground and ended up getting stepped on. So that was a really, really sad day. But the moral of the story is, learn from my mistakes, enclose your pockets, use a nice adhesive so that your stuff doesn't fall out when you least expect it. So now this is what it should look like, your little envelope. You have your background, and now you have a really cute little tuck spot that you can add things in. And oh my goodness, if I add that little postage stamp there, it would look so cute. That you can put anything in, and then you also have a secretive little tuck spot down at the bottom for your memories that you wish to be kept a secret. And that's pretty much the whole process with creating these little envelope pockets. Super, super easy, I'm telling you. I hope that you guys actually like it and you don't think it's too easy for me to share, because I honestly love doing my pockets like these. This is just so cute and so much fun, and I'm going to create my other little mini envelope pockets next, and I think it's time to use some wallpaper. So I'm going to go through my papers, choose what papers I want to use for the rest of my little mini envelope pockets, and I will be right back to share with you the papers that I have chosen. Alright, so I have just finished cutting my little papers to cover up the rest of my envelope pockets. For this one, I think I'm going to make it a top loading pocket. And I want to cover it up with this really pretty wallpaper. It's actually a little part that I cut out from this sheet right here. And I'm just going to glue it and cover up that front part. And then for this little mini envelope pocket, I'm going to use this sage green French receipt. And then I'm going to use this really pretty floral. It's actually looking a little bit more saturated on camera, but it's a muted blue and it goes perfectly with this green, and so I'm going to be using that as the little triangle flap. So I'm going to glue these on and we can finally see the whole process come together. It's really beautiful how you can take something as ordinary as an envelope and really transform it into whatever you want, especially using your papers, the papers that you enjoy the most or the papers that make you the happiest. That one was really easy, as I just needed to glue the whole entire paper right on top. Alright, and then with this one I just need to glue on my receipt, making sure it lines up to the edges. And I need to open this up, add the glue on my little triangle area. I love how the little flowers peeking there, and in this area here I could do some journaling, or I can even add one of my postage stamps. So adorable, and I like how all of them look put together. They're so cute. Alright, so let me open this up and close up my pocket. So now that you have decorated the base of your envelopes with pretty paper or decorative paper, the one of your choice, you can do two things. You can take this to your sewing machine and sew around the edges to secure your paper, or you could just leave it as is and do imitation sewing. This is a little trick that I love doing. Just take a black pen or a black marker. I'm using, it's called EK Tools, and it's a journaling pen, and I believe it's archival. And what I like to do sometimes when I'm too lazy to sew but I want that bright contrast, I just take my pen and let me take a ruler, as I want it to be, you know, as straight as I can make it, and then just draw a line. So you want to basically just draw a black line around your little pocket area. Oops, I went a little crooked, oh no. It's okay. Those little mistakes, those little imperfections are all right. And just by outlining wherever you want to bring more focus to, you can also do the top and the sides. I'm just going to do the pocket for now, and later on if I choose to bring more contrast to the sides I can do that too, but just use a black pen or a black marker and it makes it look as if you did some sewing lines, and it brings some contrast to your pockets. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew around the little pocket areas, making sure I don't close up my little inside space that my envelope had. So I want to keep those little tuck spots, those hidden tuck spots. But I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and I will show you what it looks like when it has been all sewn together. I just took my little envelope pockets out of my sewing machine, and you'll notice that I just stitched along the edges that weren't going to become little tuck spots. And for here at the bottom I can go with a little marker to just imitate the sewing lines, but I think I will leave it because I really like this little design and I don't really want to interrupt it. And I think I want to use some washi tape actually. With this one I just sewed the side edges, leaving a top loading pocket here. And then with this one of course we have that little tuck spot, and then we have our side loading pocket. So I actually want to decorate these with a little bit of washi tape and then some of my faux postage stamps. And I have this washi, this super cute thin blue washi, that I think would look really lovely on this one, and I want to add it right along the line, the pocket line. Just like that. I think it'll make it look really pretty. And then I have some of this pink washi. And then with this one, I kind of want to add it on the side here to dilute that red as I think the red was a little bit too strong. I like having this little pop of red over here, but I wanted to mute that one. So I have some washi options, and I think I want to use this little washi right along the side, just like that. I think that looks adorable. That's so cute. I really like having these little washi or messy washi edges, as I think they make it look kind of like worn in and used. And then for this one, I want to use this, as this looks very French to me. Yeah, at the bottom, just like that, and then I'll add a little strip on top. Should I do the pink? I might do the pink, as the pink just looks so lovely. And I'll just do a little messy pink washi, just like that. Oh, this is so cute, you guys. So now that I have decorated them with washi, I want to add some of my little postage stamps. And I know for a fact I want to use this one. And I'm just going to cut them normally. I'm not going to be using my decorative scissors. I think this needs some washi at the bottom. Just a little bit of washi. And then I'm just going to glue this just like that. And I really like how that little washi kind of brings it together. Really love that. And then here is this postage stamp. And I think I actually want to put it here up at the top. Maybe I'll put this little washi at the bottom. Lovely. There we go. And then I can add some little washi down at the bottom just to bring in some color. Really like how that looks. Really love that. And then for this one, I could add my little postage stamp here on the tuck spot, but there's a lot of white space here. And I don't want to do this as it covers up the script, so I think I'm just going to slightly tilt it. And then I'm just going to glue it right up at the top. And I could even add a little washi sticker. Like, look at how cute. Oh my goodness. Look at how cute that would look if I cut it perhaps like that. That looks adorable, but we might leave that for another day. I might do some decorative cards to go inside of here. So I pulled out some tags from my Artist in Bloom journal just to show you how adorable these little pockets can be. Like, look, by tucking in a little tag, look at how adorable that looks, and you still get some of that typewriter script on there. And then you have a full pocket here that you can put some other little secrets behind there. With this one, you have a top loading pocket, which you can put a really deep tag in there. Really pretty. And then with the larger pocket, you can put like a little postcard in there, little washi sticker in there. So many things that you can put into these pockets. They look absolutely adorable. They are so easy to make. They're really great for Happy Mail. You can create them to put inside of a journal. Like, here's my little Artist in Bloom journal. Let's pick a page like this one. I can put this on here like a little paper clip, or I can place it within the pocket. And the best part is that on the back you have some journaling space, so you can still decorate it however you would like. Here's the more blue toned one, and you can tip it in so that you can turn this over, do some journaling, and then you have a little tuck spot on the side as well. And this one actually would look beautiful in this pocket here. Because of the music paper, it contrasts with the black and then the blue ruffle. So look at how stunning that looks. So you can create 3 different pockets out of just one envelope, which I think is wonderful because you get to use the most of your supplies. And you can continue to do this with all of the envelopes that you find. If they're really large or even if they're small, you can make some tiny little mini pockets. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial and this little project. It was definitely something that I needed to do, as I wanted to play with paper, but I didn't want to spend too much time on a particular project, and I had so much fun as I got to incorporate my little washi tape. So of course, until next time, I hope that you guys have an incredible day full of peace and love. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this project and if you're going to try it out yourselves. And also, if you're interested in either the French receipt papers or my wallpapers, definitely check the link below to purchase them and to also begin experimenting with these really cute faux postage stamps that just look beautiful as little decorative cards, like little mini cards as well. And they just look so cute and darling as like a little cherry on top of your cake when you're done decorating it. I really hope you guys loved this video and had some fun playing with me, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye, and have a wonderful day.